like the Falcons right now. I like the Falcons at 11. It's already moved to 10.5 at Bet365. This Falcon spot makes sense to me. Too many points. And the injuries for the Niners. Look, if the Niners were healthy, they'd be, to me, a slam dunk to get to the Super Bowl and face the Ravens. And I'd love to see another Niners-Ravens Super Bowl. How much fun was it the last time they met up? But they're beat up. I mean, their injury report is ridiculous. And now we're adding D Ford and Richard Sherman to this. This is just a banged-up football team. That was a tough game against the Saints, the game of the year so far. Jimmy G and the receivers have found their groove, but 11 points is a lot to ask. I know Ridley's hurt for the Falcons. Hooper's hurting as well, but could play. Ridley hurt is bad for the Falcons, but regardless, this is a Falcons with the points and the over to me. And I want to pull the trigger on these. What do you think about the Falcons and the over, Donnie?
I think it's a lot of points. I do think it's a lot of points here. And even though Atlanta's not really playing for much, San Francisco with a huge victory last week, they did show a little bit of chinks on defense, which was great. I actually thought for San Francisco moving forward, because if their defense just doesn't stand on its head, you know what? I'm Jimmy G. I can win this football game. Do you remember us going down to New Orleans and winning that game? I did that, which is great. And I actually think it plays well into the total. Calvin Ridley is a big injury for Atlanta. Julio Jones is still going to give it a go. Hooper is back. The offense is playing with a little bit more rhythm, which is kind of interesting. That the defense takes a hit with Trufant. I like a little bit of the team total over for both of these teams, which leads me into my next play, which I like even more, is the total here. I think San Francisco is still going to dial it up. I think the Atlanta Falcons, they're not coming in this game saying, well, let's protect the football and throw it in the flat and run it here. That's not going to take place. Shanahan is going to dial it up, which is going to force a lot of punt footballs. And what I mean by that is, you ever watch Matt Ryan play quarterback? It's a lot of throwing it directly up in the air and letting Julio Jones try to run under it. I think it's an open offensive game plan on both sides of the ball. I think you're going to get some sacks. I think you're going to get some turnovers, which is going to play into the total. I like the over here, Jimmy. I think San Francisco is going to be able to get off on offense, but a lot of key injuries on defense, which is going to allow some deep shots there for the Atlanta Falcons.
We have nice enough weather there in San Francisco. No worries about rain at this point. 55 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 10 miles per hour. I like the over. I like the Falcons. I'm going to be making moves on these. I'm going to be making moves on these.